Hi Aries, welcome to your weekly forecast for May 11th through the 17th. We're going to see what's happening the week ahead with this lovely deck here, and then we're going to pull a spirit message for you all from this deck here. So without further ado, my darling Aries, Aries sun, moon, and rising, let's get right on in here and see what is happening for Aries sun, moon, and rising in the week ahead. Okay, dears, one more shuffle. There we are. Beyond the cards. Okay, so first coming up here, well, Aries, we have Four of Wands. Four of Wands is very, very stable energy. Okay, I know a lot of people, when they see Four of Wands, they immediately think, marriage, wedding, I'm getting married. And that's absolutely one of the meanings of the card. But those of you that watch my readings, I try to keep the weekly looking at other areas of life. I try to do love separate in the monthly love videos. So we're going to look at this outside of the scope of love and romance. Four of Wands is going to be stability. It's going to be balance. It's about long-term plans, coming together, creating a sense of security. Okay? So Aries, a lot of you, your mindset this week, maybe you do have a relationship on your mind, or maybe you are thinking that you want to take something next level or work on an existing relationship, but you may be taking into factors about life, how life is going to affect all that, like the everyday aspects of life. So sometimes Four of Wands can indicate some plan is coming together. Okay, like something is beginning to form, something is beginning to develop. You're really getting to the place where you've got a nice foundation set, and now you're building upon it. You're creating. Four is also an angel number that has to do with our angels, our angels helping us behind the scenes, bringing things together in our favor. So if you're seeing four a lot this week, or if you've been seeing four, for some reason I feel like I need to emphasize for you guys the number four. If four is the number you've been seeing, or if you find that you're seeing repeating fours, it's basically your angels letting you know that we're working on it. We hear you. We're working on it. We're bringing things together. Maybe you don't see it just yet, but it's coming together. Foundations are being set. Foundations are being formed. Okay, it's so interesting because even as you look at the picture here, I can't speak for the artist. I don't know him personally, but what this is making me think of, it's almost like this stream is putting out some kind of fire or some kind of a wreck here, right? I kind of imagine like it's like how nature, grass, trees, and things have a way of growing over stuff, right? Like if there's a civilization or something that's not occupied, nature will begin just kind of growing everywhere. So I feel like there might be something happening here where like the grass is going to be coming back, like that the cracks in the soil are going to be healed, and it's like it's forming, like it's creating, like it's expanding in some way. Might not be at all what he had in mind, but that's just what I'm feeling or sensing in the energy of this card. Now your next card, Aries, this is really beautiful. This is definitely Aries energy. You've got King of Wands, right? So King of Wands can definitely be a fire sign, right? It can be you guys. It's that fire sign energy. You may be dealing with another fire sign. However, for me in my readings, King of Wands for me is a personality type of the kind of person that is very tired of waiting for something to happen. So he gets up and he starts making it happen himself. Okay, like there's no opportunities. All right, well then I'm gonna make my own opportunities, right? Phone's not ringing, nobody's calling me. I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna find clients. Or I can't find a job, I'm gonna find something I can sell, or I'm gonna find something that I can do, or a service that I can provide. Like he's a mover and a shaker, and he's impatient. He doesn't have time to wait around for people to figure out what they want to do. So other aspects of this card is somebody who's very inspired, somebody who has like a zest for life, and just the passion, you know, the passion energy, being passionate about something, you know, being inspired and going for it, just really, really going for it. So Aries, some of you may be in this energy this week. You may be in an energy where you're tired of waiting for someone to decide what they're going to do, or you're tired of waiting for work situations to change, or for something to fall from the sky. And so you're getting up and you're taking action. You're taking action towards things that you're passionate about. I also feel, Aries, that some of you are setting out to do something that you've been getting a lot of discouragement about it. Like maybe your friends or your family have been like, you know, no, that's not a good idea, or you shouldn't do that. You know, whether it's, you know, going back to school or studying a different subject, or a career change, or going into some line of work, or even a relationship. You may have been getting a lot of discouragement from the people around you, telling you that, you know, they can't really imagine you doing that, or they don't think it's right for you, or they think you should do something else. And Aries, I just kind of have a feeling that a lot of you are going back to some original hope or original plan. Like, I'm just going to go back to doing what I wanted to do before I listened to everybody else, right? Before I, you know, went into this career, or before I, you know, didn't make a certain move, or or stayed in a certain town, or whatever it might be. I feel for some reason with this King of Wands, for a lot of you Aries, you're like, I'm just gonna do what I've been wanting to do, what makes me happy, and you're going after this goal, you're going after this these projects, and you're not so concerned anymore what other people are saying or thinking. You're like, I don't care. I don't care. Let them say what they want to say. Let them think what they want to think. And you're so, Aries, I feel like you're so determined about doing this. It's almost like you feel that the curiosity of it, you can't stand the curiosity of it. You're like, even if I go out there and I do it and I fall on my face, fine, I don't care. At least I won't be wondering anymore. I won't be saying what if, what if, what if. That's the energy I have. Like, you guys are just, you're like ready to just take a chance on some idea or project, or like I said, it could be a relationship for some of you. But you're like, I'd rather know than spend the rest of my life wondering. That's like the energy I'm getting from this card for you guys. Your next card here is Six of Coins. So it could definitely have to do with business situations. Six of Coins is the ideal financial situation. Okay. When we see Six of Coins, you're in an energy or a situation where you have money coming in consistently. You have like a consistent inflow. You have money saved and put aside for the future, and you're able to continue adding on to that savings while still having money for the luxuries of life, you know, doing things that you enjoy doing, you know, treating yourself to things, you know, taking trips, you know, eating out, spending time with friends, you know. And also, to me, which I really love this aspect, is being able to give to charity, or being able to help those less fortunate, or being able to help people that you know need help. So it's a very ideal financial situation. In terms of relationships, some of you might be seeing this in your relationships before you see it happening financially. And when I say relationships, I mean all kinds of relationships. I mean friends and family, coworkers, employers. I don't only mean romantic. You might see this happening in your relationships first, in the sense, Aries, where if you feel that you've been always in situations where you're the one taking initiative, you're the one giving, you're the one making things happen, you're the one, you know, doing all the work in a relationship. Maybe with these retrogrades happening and people being more introspective and more kind of analyzing their life, you might be thinking about that. That's saying, hey, you know what? Like, I don't really like the way that I'm always the one calling this person, or I'm always the one, you know, figuring out what we should do, or I'm always the one seeing how they're doing. So you may be shifting your energy where you're creating free flowing energy with other people, right? Where you're beginning to have, you know, people step up and, hey, Aries, how are you doing? Do you need anything? Is there anything that I can do for you? You know, I'd love to catch up, or, you know, like, so now you have this free exchange of energy. Another thing that's jumping out at me, this is very peacock-esque, right? Like the feather here and the colors, and it's almost like these are like the peacock eyes of the feather. So I also feel, Aries, some of you are beginning to show signs that things are getting better for you financially. Maybe you have some past life fear about that. Maybe you've had like this past life fear where you're like, well, people can't know that I'm doing well, you know, and maybe you've like kind of felt like, you know, you don't want to let on, you know, that you have money or that you're doing well. And so maybe some of you are more just kind of like, well, you know what? No, like if this is what I want to do, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be so worried anymore about what people think about me, or if they know what I have. Also with the peacock, it could be some of you are finding ways of making an income with your natural gifts and talents. Like you're not hiding it anymore, or you're not being shy about it anymore, right? We talked about that going out there, King of Wands energy, where you're like, I just have to know, I just have to try, I have to do it. Some of you may be showcasing talents and skills that maybe before you kind of doubted yourself. You know, you may be showing your colors, your feathers like a peacock, and that could be bringing in some financial gain for you. The next card here, my darling Aries, is the Nine of Swords. Not surprising at all. Not surprising at all. So, we've all been there in our life, right? I'm sure a lot of you can even verify this in the comments that you've experienced this. I think anybody who's alive and human has experienced this. When we're changing our life and we're breaking out of limited beliefs and we're breaking out of blocks and our chakras are opening up and clearing and we start taking steps in a new direction, there's this one phase where we're like super excited about it, right? Like that King of Wands. I don't care. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to do it. That Six of Coins, that peacock energy. Like, oh yeah, you know, I'm proud of myself and I accept myself and I can do this and I'm going to show everybody that I'm great. And then what happens? Not very long after, those what ifs start getting very loud in our mind. And we start getting discouraged and we start getting insecure. And then the self-esteem was like way up here. And then the self-esteem comes way down low, right? It happens. It's a cycle. And then what happens? We give up, right? We're like, oh, what was I thinking? Forget it. And we give up. And then we get tired of the same old crap. And then we're like, okay, no, I'm going to do it, right? So if you're tired of having to start again and again, just don't give up. And I know it could be easier said than done, but here's some advice for us on how you can do this. The Nine of Swords can indicate that you're having trouble sleeping. You may have insomnia. You may be really stressed out. You may be having a lot of anxiety. And I feel like, Aries, you guys are going back and forth between, I don't care what anybody says about me. I don't care what anybody thinks about what I'm doing. And then a little bit time later, you're like, oh my gosh, you know, people think I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm going to look so stupid if this doesn't work out, or, oh, I shouldn't have done this and I shouldn't have done that. And, oh, I wish I didn't say this to this person. And you start judging yourself and criticizing yourself and getting very worried about how people are viewing you, or what you said, or what you did, or what you posted, right? Like you're all kind of all worked up about this and you're losing sleep over it, some of you. And you have a lot of fears about, well, what if this happens? And what if that happens? And what if this doesn't work out? Nine of Swords basically wants you to know a few things. Number one, you need to start making your rest and your sleep a priority. Because if you're not sleeping, you're going to be really emotional. Your emotions are going to be more intense. And we're already in energy right now with the full moon in Scorpio that we just had, and the retrogrades that we have and the planetary placements. We're already in like a heightened emotion situation. We don't need to add being, you know, tired, emotional on top of that. So try to make sleep a priority. Try to make sure you're getting enough sleep and rest. Also, you want to be careful about these what ifs, what ifs, what ifs, because you're manifesting. That's how people manifest. You manifest by visualizing some end result and feeling all of the feelings as if it's actually happening, right? So, you know, and that's what happens when we worry. We're imagining a worst case scenario, and then we're feeling all of the fear and the anxiety as if it's actually happening. That's a form of manifesting work, right? It's something you don't want. So that's why you need to be cautious and not like stew in that, not stew in that fear. Well, how do we do that? How do we not stew in that fear? Well, a couple of things. Number one, think about, and you guys are great about this, Aries, you guys are great about the action plan. You know, think about what are some steps that I can take to prevent this scenario from happening, or what are some things that I can do to be prepared in case this scenario happens, and take the steps that's in your power. Anything that's not in your power, this is where you need to get right with your faith, your belief system, you know, the universe, higher power, angels, guides. You have to begin practicing the art of surrender. Surrender is when there's things that are not in our control, things that we can't control, and we hand it over to our spiritual team and we say, here's all the things I have no power over. I can't control the outcome of it. I can't control, you know, what's going to happen with this. So thank you so much for taking this for me and taking care of it, you know, handling it, you know, watching over it, you know, whatever's going to be in the highest good. And so that is one thing, Aries. I know it might be easier said than done, but I think this week a lot of you are going to have a chance to practice that, to get out of the fear, to get out of the what ifs, to prepare yourself, to make a plan, to take the steps that you can take to feel empowered, and the things that you can't control, handing them over to your spiritual team. So we're going to go ahead and pull your spirit card here, my dears. And as always, I encourage you to watch your moon sign and rising sign videos, because some weeks are going to resonate with you more than others. And if you would like a private reading with me, you can go ahead and schedule through the Calendly link in the description of the video. Oh my gosh, Aries, I just got chills, and I'll tell you why. When I did your channeled angel message for me, it was very intense. I don't know if some of you have an Aquarius in the mix, but like Aquarius and Aries was coming in at the same time. So much so that I had to delete the channeled messages for you guys, and I had to redo them. But you had a message, and I normally don't remember like the channeled things, but it was so strong, and I just, it was so intense. But you had a message in the channeled messages about like protecting something that you were working for, and I remember something came in both times about like Spirit was saying, know the laws of your land, know the laws of your land. So it was like, you know, maybe some of you are having to double check legal contracts or put legal contracts in place, or maybe you've been trusting somebody else to tell you what to do. And this card is saying someone is not revealing part of the story. Trust your feelings over what others say. So I don't know, you might want to go listen to the channeled angel message. It's linked in the description, but it made me think of what was coming through for you guys. Like, you know, there's just like, you have to be cautious. You can't just trust what somebody is saying because they're your friend or they're your family member, right? You need to maybe look into something on your own, or if there's something you've been trusting somebody else to handle for you, you might want to just double check, just look into it, and make sure that you're listening to your gut. If something seems off, or if something isn't feeling or seeming right, you need to listen to what your intuition is telling you. Right? And it's really interesting, and I'm not, okay, I have to be cautious how I say this. I don't want to upset anybody in the comments. But the blue eyes are really jumping out at me. And I'm not saying anything negative or derogatory about blue eyes. I think blue eyes are beautiful. I love blue eyes. I'm not saying anything like I'm not attaching a negative connotation to blue eyes, but the blue eye made me think of like a lot of cultures have them, like Mediterranean cultures, Middle Eastern cultures. They'll have like a little eye charm. It's like a blue circle. It's like a protection amulet that's supposed to protect you from people being jealous or envious. So Aries, I feel like somebody might not be telling you the truth, and I feel like it might be somebody close to you that maybe has some envy. They maybe have some envy, and you might not expect that because you might say, no, you know, this person's going to be happy for me because we're friends or we're partners, or, you know, if I do well, they're going to do well because we're partners, or, you know, this person's family. But there might be some low-key envy here. And sometimes, unfortunately, when people get jealous, you know, they might play dirty. They might do things that are unfair or dishonest. So I feel like you need to listen to your gut, right? And if you are working on something, be cautious who you're sharing that with. You know, some things we don't want to tell everybody because we want to protect it from getting, you know, stolen, like having somebody take it and run off with it and try to do something themselves. So just listen to your gut if something is seeming off, Aries. If you want to check out the love messages for May, those are linked in the description as well. Private readings, if you want an intuitive card reading with me, you can click on the Calendar link and schedule. I know I talked a little bit about the retrogrades and stuff, and sometimes you guys will book readings and you'll want me to really get into that stuff. And unfortunately, my understanding of astrology is super basic. Astrology is complicated, guys. I don't know if you realize this, but most astrologers, they have studied for years, like years and years and years. It's such a deep subject. And I am in no way qualified to like teach anybody about astrology or analyze anybody's birth chart. But I had a really good experience with Truly Divine. They reached out to me. They gave me a reading. I was really impressed with them. And they've been kind enough to offer you guys unlimited 30% off as many reports and analysis that you want with the Angel 30 discount code. So that's linked in the description as well. You might want to check that out if you want to do that. Yeah, if you want a card reading, an intuitive card reading, or channeled angel messages, all that good stuff, you can go ahead and schedule with me. But if you want something in terms of astrology, you're going to want to let the astrology experts handle that. But, oh, and one last thing, guys, I don't mean to ramble. If you like this deck, I love, love, love this deck. I love this artist. His name is Cairo Marchetti. And he has a lot of tarot decks. And this is a limited edition one. And then I used another limited edition one for the love readings and for the readings last week. If you like the deck that I used in the love readings, I'm actually giving that deck away with a little altar cloth and tarot bag as a part of saying thank you for 100,000 subscribers. So if you like his artwork, if you want a chance to win the little tarot deck limited edition set, never opened, brand new, you know, mint condition, you would be the first owner. I'm giving that away, and I'm giving away a free 30-minute reading. So if you go to Instagram and Facebook, amethystangellight, I'm going to pick somebody from the comments and from the likes and stuff. So I'm going to see during the month of May who's kind of jumping out at me, and I'm going to pick one person from the comments or likes for the tarot deck and one person for the reading. And I'm going to do this every month. Every month I'm going to give away a reading and some kind of a prize. People have been messaging me saying, hey, how do I enter? That's it. You just hit like. You hit like on a post. If it's genuine, if you like the post, go ahead and give it a like. If there's something you feel moved to comment it, and I'm going to pick the winners from there. So, I thank you guys so much for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, and I'm wishing you a wonderful week. Take care, Aries.